Hey guys, welcome to the second of the 5 video installment. When I was preparing this video, I had so much information I wanted to put into it, but I was afraid it would end up being like an hour-long video, so I condensed it down. So bear with me if I look down at my notes to kind of make sure I'm trying to cover as much as possible without trying to bore you. So the second video is going to be about dating. As a single parent, it's very important to make sure you still make time for yourself and for your social life and for your love life. So whether you're, a single mom or a single dad, I feel like some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video will be very useful to you. And again, as always, if you do find this video useful, please give it a like, thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. And then, like I said, I'll also have 3 more videos that I'll be doing here in the next couple of weeks. So for this video, I wanted to start off talking about priorities. And really quick, I have my degrees in business. So I always kind of go back to the things that I learned in my business degree and how kind of that information relates to real life things. So essentially, if you just bear with me for a moment, think of your family like your business, like you're the CEO and your kids are like kind of like your employees for this example. You really want to make sure you're minding your business, making sure that your employees are taken care of, your kids are happy, and everything is all in line. Because when you really think about it, a lot of different elements that are in the business field are applicable to your family. There's finances, there's HR, there's discipline. There's so many things that go into it that you have to make sure as the parent, as the CEO, it all falls on your back. So to make sure that everything is done appropriately. So really quick, coaching and development, making sure that you're parenting your kids, you're teaching them life lessons and getting them prepared for real life when they're adults and they're going about their business. So it's really important to make sure that you don't lose yourself. You want to make sure that you have your family set up in a way that's going to be successful, that's manageable. There's another video that I'm going to be doing in the next week or so in regard to managing your time, and this will kind of relate to that. But you really just want to make sure that when you are dating, that you're looking for someone to bring to the team. Or if you're, in a situation where you're dating someone that also has children, looking at it from like a merger standpoint. If you own a business and you're hiring employees, you want to make sure you're bringing the right person to the team, because the wrong person can destroy the whole team dynamic. And you really want to look at your partner the same way. So as a single father or a single mother and you're dating, making sure that the person that you're bringing into your family is going to be suitable for the family, and also just not so much just for yourself. So that's kind of the first point I wanted to bring up. And that kind of ties into keeping some distance. As a single father myself, and my parents were divorced before I was born, I fortunately didn't have a whole lot of like women or men coming in and out of my life. And I wanted to make sure that I kind of instilled that for my son. And I don't want to, just have all these random girls coming around, not that I'm out here just, dating all these women or anything crazy like that. But I do, often find myself in a situation where if I am dating someone and I'm thinking that things could go, more serious, what that would look like with my son. So I always suggest keeping distance. You really want to make sure that you're really getting to know this person before you bring them around. I don't ever really think it's a good idea to have, just people that maybe you're not so serious about. You're just kind of dating. Maybe you just been on a couple of dates and you're introducing them to your children. The big thing you want to focus on here is when or if relationships fail, it's not just a breakup between you and that other person, but it's a breakup with the whole family. So you really don't want to drag your kids through every single failed relationship that you may have. And it's just not a good headspace for them. So I always recommend, waiting at least 3 to 6 months And that really gives you the time to really figure out what this person's all about. And you never know. I mean, it's 2018. People are crazy. You want to make sure you're bringing safe people around. You know, even jobs, they do background checks and all this other stuff and references to make sure that they're bringing the right person onto their team. And you really want to do the same thing for your business. So making sure you do keep some distance. You know, you want to schedule that time. You already have your life planned, right? You have to mind your business, make sure there's food on the table, make sure kids are ready for school, make sure bedtime, homework, all of that other stuff. So as you're, you know, potentially going to involve other people into your lifestyle, you want to make sure it's a compatible fit, and you want to take your time to do so, because everyone puts on, you know, the best image in the beginning, and as time goes, you kind of really, people kind of set into how they truly are. All right, so moving on to the next, understanding motives. So as a single parent, maybe you're not looking for the next person to marry. You could be recently divorced or whatever the situation may be. So if you're just looking for fun, great. You know, make sure that person knows that you're just looking for fun. But if you're looking for something serious, same thing too. And you want to make sure that as you're getting to know these people, that you guys are looking for the same thing. You know, if you're dating someone that doesn't have kids or someone that does have kids, I've had situations where, you know, dating women that don't have children, and you know, as a parent, you have to remember, like, you don't have the freedom that you used to have. You can't just come and go and you know, go run off to Vegas at a last minute's notice. You have to plan things. You have to schedule things. So just making sure that the people that, you know, you're bringing around, you know, you guys have the same, you know, common goals. I mean, that's just kind of a no-brainer, right? Defining clear roles. So if you've gone through the point of, you know, you're dating someone, and you're potentially bringing them around your family, in your children, you want to make sure that if you're going down that serious road, you have clear defined roles. For example, and this can just be in general. I mean, you don't even really have to have children for this to apply, but I found that you want to focus on your strengths, right? So let's say, for instance, I always like to say you can have too many cooks in the kitchen, right? So if you're a good cook and, you know, your partner's a good cook, maybe don't both be in the kitchen at the same time. Maybe the other person can focus on, you know, helping the kids with their homework, right? So if you got a person that's really good at homework or good at cleaning or whatever that may be, let, you know, you focus on your strengths. If your strength is, you know, you make good food, cool, focus on that. Let the other person focus on the things that they're good on. That way you guys can use your strengths to your family's advantage versus everyone trying to do the same thing. So many people have issues when they're like, everything should be 50-50. And I'm not saying things shouldn't be 50-50 in a relationship, but you want to make sure that it's going to be in the best possible situation. If you're really good at helping the kids with their math homework, then great, that should be your role, all right? And then the other role, while that's going on, the other person could be doing this or doing that. So just make sure you have clear defined goals. All right, the next tip is having a consistent discipline plan. So the way you raise your kids could be very different than what maybe the person you're dating, if they have kids, chooses to raise theirs. Or they could have been brought up a certain way depending on where they were born, or if they're in the United States or, you know, a different country or something like that. So what I found is really important if you're going to be dating, whether the other person has children or not, is having a consistent discipline plan across the board, which also applies to co-parenting situations. Like myself, I have my son 50% of the time. So with that, you never have to worry about issues where, oh, my mom doesn't do this, or my mom says, you know, I don't have to do that, or, you know, when I get in trouble over here, I only have to do this. So there's no arguments or issues. Everything is fair across the board. If they're in trouble at, you know, if he's in trouble at his mom's house, you know, essentially he's in trouble at my house. That's not, okay, as soon as you leave, you know, this door, then you're free, and, you know, you can off and go and do whatever it is that you want to do. No, it's really important, and I'll talk more about this in the co-parenting video that I'm going to be doing here in the weeks to come. But essentially having a disciplined plan across the board that applies to all of the children that you have. If you're dating someone that also has kids, you want to come together and develop this disciplined plan. That way there's no issues. Your kid won't ever feel like they're being mistreated by the other person. The other person will have, you know, a clear, consistent, like, hey, these are the rules. It's essentially, that's what it comes down to. if you're all in one house, these are the house rules, this is kind of how it is. And if you can, you really want to try and also have that relationship with your co-parenting, parent, if you're in that type of situation like I am. And for example, what this might look like, right? So let's say, kind of like in a business, if you're at work, usually the first offense, you have a warning, right? Hey, you're acting up, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Here's your warning. Obviously, it'll depend on how severe the issue is. But generally speaking, maybe first offense, here's a warning. Second offense, okay, you lose your phone or electronics or something like that for an hour, or, you don't get dessert, however you want to plan it. Second offense, okay, you lose your phone and TV and electronics and stuff for the week, or you can't go to the park or whatever that may be. So it progressively gets a little bit worse. So it also gives your child the real life experience that when they get older, hey, if you mess up and you make a mistake, this is kind of, you're going to have consequences for your actions. And again, it's really important if you have that spread across the board, especially if you're dating someone and you're introducing them into your family, that way they know specifically what it looks like. I mean, you got to imagine if two businesses merge together or two families combine together, it's important to make sure that everyone's following the same rules and procedures. That way everyone's on the same page, it's fair for everybody, it'll take a lot of stress off of your back. And your kids will feel a lot more appreciated. They'll feel like they understand what's going on. They won't feel like anyone's picking on them or anything like that, because maybe they're only used to you disciplining them. And now here's, someone else comes around the corner and says, okay, you lose your phone. At least they understand why. It's not something that they're holding a grudge against that person, but they understand like this is the discipline plan. And so if you guys can come together as a unit to plan this effectively, you shouldn't have any issues moving forward. So there you have it. So just to kind of recap, the first thing, priorities, making sure that you're minding your business, taking care of your family first before you do anything else. The last thing you want to do is, pursue a relationship with someone that pulls you completely out of your regular realm of things. If you have a regular routine where this is when you go to the gym, this is when you do painting class with your kid, this is when you guys go to the park, that's what's most important. Your family is always going to be there. People will come and go out of your life, but your kid's your kid forever. It's not until they turn 18, but it forever. So making sure that you're minding your business, making sure that your family's taken care of, and anyone else that you bring into that environment is gonna fit. It's like you're essentially kind of like hiring someone into the family, or you're merging two big organizations together, making sure that they have similar dynamics and they're the same types of business. You don't want to merge Pepsi with Ford. It just doesn't make sense. The second thing, keeping your distance, taking your time to really get to know this person so that you really know what it's all about. Again, businesses do background checks and all that other stuff. So making sure that you're taking your time to really understand what this person is all about. And it's, again, important because your children are going to be essentially in this relationship too. You're not just dating them, your kids are dating them too. There's relationships and things that can be formed that if the relationship doesn't work out, not only could you potentially be heartbroken, but your kids too. And again, you don't want to drag essentially your kids through, failed relationships. Yes, you probably will have some that just don't go as expected, but a lot of times you can usually figure that out early on. Usually within the first 6 months, you should have a pretty good idea what this person's character is like, and where you can potentially see yourself with that person in the future. Understanding people's motives, what it is that they're all about, what you're looking for, making sure you guys are pretty much looking for the same thing. And a lot of times that may not involve, them being around your family, around your children. Defining clear goals and expectations. Again, merging, two families together, or bringing a person that doesn't have a child into your family with a child or children is huge. What role do they play? If they already have a mother or they already have a father, how do you want their relationship to be? And again, making sure that you're using each other's strengths to your advantages. If one person is really good at this, focus on that. Focus on each other's strengths so that everything runs smoothly, instead of everyone 50-50. You guys are both cooking, you guys are both cleaning, you guys are both doing math homework. Imagine, two people, sitting at a table with a kid, both trying to, help them with their math homework, and they have two completely different styles. Focus on your strengths. it'll just work much better that way. Parenting, super important. Making sure that, especially when it comes to disciplining, that you, your partner, if there's a co-parent, you really want to try and all be on the same page so you have clear expectations across the board. It'll just save you headache and hassle. It's much better for the children. They know what to expect. So when they're with you at your house, or if they're with their other parent at their house, or if you're not there and they're with your significant other, they're not going to be acting crazy. It's going to be easy for that person too. The kids are still supposed to be disciplined and do what they're supposed to do. And they know that there's going to be consequences for their actions, whether you're there or not, or, whoever they're with. So that's it. Hope you found this information useful. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.